Yeah. Yeah. Let me take you on a day. We ain't gotta wait. Tell me if you got an ex in the way he can skate. I just wanna get a little taste, and I see you keep your body in shape. Look, I just wanna day. Damn, you look good. Damn, you look good, girl, and you look good. Need to stop. Came in 2 shots. I'm waiting to hit sugar free, quicker 2 packs. This the coast. T-shirt, flannel, no coats. A party ain't a party if my can't smoke. Here we go. Let me make a toast to baby over there, cause you know I wanna poke. No, I don't. I just wanna get in the throw. Drop at the house and go dipping on the spokes. You know, 2 12s in the back seat, passing by the kids and they yelling, that's me, as I skate. Damn, what's with all this hate? When I come around, can't say it to my face, okay? No, I do stay paid, and can't get that fade when I come around. It's better quiet, damn. You ain't buying crystal, you sharing that drink. Do I care what you think? I come through wearing that mink. It's all drunk, I don't wanna hit your blunt. I can with any that I want. Is that your chick? Slipped over like I did that back in 06. She was like, wait, hold up, that's my jam. This the new dime. That's my man. Try and get this money as best I can. Can you do it from the side, baby? Yes, I can. Just wait. I'ma beat it out like say. Going all night, just give me like 5 tapes and I'm straight. Dang, that's what I deserve. We getting money now, huh? That's what I done heard. Y'all be in the club with all them nerds. I be at the house with a girl on reserve. What you gonna do with all them curves? Teach me something new right now. I wanna learn. This your turn. Girl, you gotta give it what you got. Ain't nobody giving you a spot. This ain't no team. You ain't finna get no ring. Wake up, girl, this ain't no dream. This my life. Champagne bottles on ice. Come through feeling like Mike. You ain't my wife. Please, I'm everybody type. Girl, I got what everybody like. When I come around, better quiet. Damn, you ain't buying crystal, you sharing that drink. Do I care what you think? I come through wearing that mink. When I come around.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Little bit of Dom Kennedy in the headphones tonight. I guess I was feeling a little bit close to my West Coast roots here this evening, but that is the vibe of the night. Look, man, it is a Fantasy Friday Q&A. We're going to be answering all of your guys' start sits, waiver questions, trade questions, dynasty redraft, anything you guys got. Maybe it's not even fantasy football related. You just want to ask me some random stuff in life. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'm here for you guys for the entire hour from 8 to 9 Eastern. Appreciate everybody who is here early, hitting the like button. We do have a like goal tonight of 40 likes, so if we can get those likes in today, that would be great. Everybody who is here early, I saw Insidious, Jonathan, Shane, Jag, Dusk, Trap, Galaxy, all of you folks. Appreciate you guys all very, very much. Now, I will let you guys know, if you do want to go above and beyond and support this stream in more ways than just hitting the like button, the best way to do that is always going to be over on Underdog. Right now, our partner, Underdog, is allowing new customers who use promo code LeagueFFB and play $5 to get an extra $100 in bonus funds when you use that promo code. So it's a great time to go over there, try it out if you've never tried it out. Like I said, you just type in the promo code LeagueFFB, you play $5 in the account, and you get $100 free just to mess around with and try and win some extra cash over there on Underdog. So do me the favor, if you've never went and tried it over there on Underdog, go try it out for me right now. But that's not what we're here for tonight. Like I said, a fantasy Q&A, so let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. And I'm going to kick it off with the first question here that I saw, and it's from Galaxy. Galaxy says, do you want to trade Odunze and Harvey for Saquon? The roster is JT, Judkins, Marks, Harvey, Lamb, London, Odunze, and Diggs. It's an interesting question, I think, because when I'm looking at your roster with JT, Judkins, and Harvey and Marks, I feel like you got a lot here to like the rest of the way. It feels like your running back room is a little bit better than the wide receiver. I do like Lamb, London, Odunze. If you lose Odunze, I think it makes that a weak spot on your team. Not necessarily a full weak spot, but I like to have the Odunze and Harvey side here. I don't know if Saquon is the full consolidated piece that I actually want to get into. Now, the second question that I saw was Insidious. Appreciate you being here early, man. He says, hey, what up, Andrew? I got quite the dilemma here. Final week of my guillotine league. We ain't realized we were supposed to have 16 to 17 players. Start one with Lamar, Herbert, and Mahomes. Ooh, that's a good question. I do have currently Herbert as the number 1 player there. So I would go with Herbert. He says start 2 with Saquon, Quinshawn, Henry, Rashad White. So for me, it's going to be, let's see, Saquon and Quinshawn. Those would be the 2 for me. And then I guess he says it's a part 2 here. 3 flexes. You can choose any of the previous running backs with Ladd, Emeka, Waddle, Smitty, T, A.J. Brown, Pickens, then Gadsden or Goddard. Thanks, and sorry for the essay off the bat. It's all good. So I would go with Henry. I think, am I going with Henry or am I going with all 3 wide receivers? I'm definitely going to go with Waddle as one of them. I'm going to go with Pickens as another one. And I think I'm going to take Emeka over Henry. So I guess I am going to go with the 3 with Waddle, Pickens, and Emeka as the 3 flexes. Then for your tight end, Gadsden or Goddard, I'm going to end up going with Gadsden there. So that hopefully helps you set all of that in your lineup. A little bit of a long one, but hey, that's what I'm here for. Now, Trap says 10-team redraft. I'm being offered Tet and DK. Who you got rest of season? I think I'd rather have DK Metcalf rest of season. Just more consistent quarterback play. Dusk says 10-team PPR Superflex tight end premium. I currently am in second place at 8-2, and I traded Dobbs in a 27 first and 27 second for Nico Collins, an early 26 third. I needed a wide receiver too, as I was starting Dobbs / BTJ. What are your thoughts? I think that's fine. I mean, Nico Collins to me is still an elite wide receiver talent. I'm more than comfortable giving a first plus players like Dobbs in a second to go get it. And if you needed the wide receiver too, absolutely fine with that as well. So solid move over there for you, Dusk. Jag says, Andrew, week 11. Love the content, man. Keep it up. I appreciate you, Jag. And yes, it is week 11, which means we're just a few weeks from playoffs, actually. Less than a month, it feels like. So, well, I guess it is a month now, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, and then week 15 will be in the playoffs. So it is a month now. But he says 2 QB leagues, start 1, Dak or Stafford. My other quarterback is Lamar. I currently have, I want to say, I have Stafford as my QB 8 on the week. So he is probably who I'm going to end up playing. It just feels like it could be a really good spot for him against Seattle this week. All right, where are we? Jonathan says Flacco or Mahomes. I got Mahomes higher than Flacco in the rankings. So we're going to go with Mahomes there. Wilson or Watson? This is an interesting question. And he says, how are we feeling about Michael Wilson at the flex? I think Michael Wilson is fine as a flex play. I'll tell you where I got him in my rankings right now. Full PPR league. We're looking at Michael Wilson as a wide receiver 3. So I kind of have him around the DJ Moore, Tez Johnson, Malik Washington, Jacoby Myers type of range. That's about where I have him. So I think he's a fine wide receiver 3 play. If you're playing him in the flex, that's fine. Between him and Christian Watson, I think I would rather play Michael Wilson than Christian Watson personally. Feels like there's going to be a higher floor with Michael Wilson. We all know Christian Watson's a big play threat. Mostly says T-Law plus a 26 early 26 third. 26 early, 26 third, late 27 second for Stroud and Jonathan Brooks. I think we forgot one number right in here, and 26. I don't know what that is. Let's see. But either way, I think just looking at it, I would probably, assuming that 26 early is a first or a second, I think I'd rather have the T-Law side there than Jonathan Brooks. To me, Jonathan Brooks is a dead asset. I don't think Jonathan Brooks is going to be worth jack shit in Dynasty moving forward. He's dead to me from a value standpoint. Andrews, Theo Johnson, or Zach Ertz this week only in full PPR. I do like the matchup for Theo. Theo does have a pretty good spot. I think I'm going to end up playing him over all of those guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go Theo Johnson this week against Green Bay. And Jameis Winston, he might sling it. He always does. Sutton or Shamir DK, league counts return yards. Interesting. I don't love the matchup for Sutton, but I guess I don't really know how many return yards your guys are going to get. If it's return yardage, it may be DK. I mean, I'm looking right now at my wide receiver rankings. I do have Cortland Sutton as my wide receiver 34 this week, so he's not high by any means. I have Shamir DK as my wide receiver 50, but that's because of a tough matchup against Houston. But that doesn't, I mean, it's just PPR rankings. It doesn't account for the return yards. I guess if it's a little bit juiced for the return yards, you could make an argument for DK. I still think I might go with Sutton though. Flex one in a PPR league. Woody, White, Tet, Metcalf, leaning Woody versus the Titans. I have no issues with Woody versus the Titans. Think it's a fine play there. White, Monangai, or Hunt in a full PPR. I'm almost certain that White is the highest in my rankings. I do have him as my running back 23. Hunt is my 28, and Monangai is my 33. So it's going to be White for me in a full PPR. 10-team PPR, made some crazy moves at the deadline, and there's no way I lose, right? Quarterback is Josh Allen, JT Gibbs, Bucky, Rashad. Wide receivers are Jamar, Zay, Wandell, Mike Evans. Tight end is Bowers. The glaring weak spot for me is the wide receiver room. I do think you are very, very strong everywhere else with Allen in the running back room and Jamar being the number one, but it feels like Zay, Wandell, Evans feels like that could be exploited and could be the reason why it doesn't work out. But like I said, you have a very good team, so you should feel good. If I was to say that is the weak point, it would be that spot right there. What's up, Fantasy Sports Zone? John says, what's up, DeMercado or Aomanor this week in a PPR league? Probably going to go with DeMercado there. Sell high on Travion Henderson. In a dynasty league, I'm not selling high on Travion Henderson. In a redraft league, if you'd like to sell high on Travion Henderson, you can. I will say the schedule looks really nice. I do think Ramondre Stevenson will be back and be involved a little bit, but I do think that Travion Henderson is a player that probably needs to net a return of, at minimum, we probably got to get like a Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams type at minimum to even feel happy about it. But I have Travion in a league, and I'm going to be riding this out the rest of the way just to see, you know, how it all goes at the end of the year. Packers fan checking in. What's up, VV? Thanks for the hard work. No problem, man. I appreciate you. And Glenn says, need flex spot filled, start Shakir or Trey Tucker. Thanks for all that you do. I'm going to go with Trey Tucker. I love the matchup for Trey Tucker right now. Shakir, a little bit banged up. So just give me Trey Tucker. He should have an opportunity to have some pretty big plays this weekend. Did I win this trade? I traded away Woody Marks and J-Mo to get Josh Jacobs. My other running backs are Kyron, Javonte Williams, Corum, Emmanuel Wilson. My wide receivers are JSN, Lamb, QJ, Franklin. And yes, you did win that trade. I like that trade for you. Keenan says, how do we feel about Bowers as the fantasy playoffs are coming up? Hopefully everything checks in for him. As far as schedule goes, I haven't really been looking at Bowers' fantasy schedule. Let me see. He's gonna have a tough matchup in there against Houston, but Philly, Houston, the Giants should be good for him. I think right now, you know, there's not a lot that we shouldn't like about him. This matchup this week against Dallas is going to be good, and so on. A couple tough matchups on the way out too. Cleveland in week 12, the Chargers in week 13, Denver in week 14. It's going to be tough, but he's an elite talent, so I'm not, you know, as worried about matchups with the elite players as I am the others. So we'll see. Tough matchup though. Like I said, the rest of the way, a lot of them. If London doesn't play, I need a flex player, Rashad, Woody, or J-Mo. I think for me, I'm going to go with J-Mo. J-Mo seemed to be involved with Dan Campbell, calling the plays there in Detroit. So if I have to pick one of these, it's probably going to be J-Mo, but that's obviously just if London doesn't play. If London plays, you play him. Any faith in Dak to perform for fantasy playoffs? Absolutely. I think Dak has a really good rest of schedule. Should have an opportunity to keep throwing the football around. Obviously has some elite weapons with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, a bad defense. All means good things for fantasy football playoffs and fantasy football production. So I definitely do like him the rest of the way. Who's a better pickup in PPR? Brian Robinson or Corum, and Franklin or Burden? End of bench stash. Could drop Tez for him too. Already have Ibuka. The way that I would be looking at this right now is if I'm trying to pick up a guy like Brian Robinson or I'm trying to pick up a guy like Blake Corum, you're preying on injury, or at least that's the reason why you would be picking them up, is if an injury happened, you're having a league-winning running back. And I do like targeting handcuffs right now because you are trying to grab those league winners. If there was an injury in Los Angeles, I am assuming Corum would be the number one guy, but I also think that they would have some other guys mixed in as well. Whereas Brian Robinson, it feels like if CMC got hurt, also probably more likely than Kyron Williams to get hurt, I do think that they would just hand it all over to Brian Robinson and he would be the back the rest of the way. So, plus I like the schedule better for Brian Robinson and the Niners the rest of the way. So if I'm going to pick one of them up, I'm taking B-Rob because it's the highest ceiling for that type of stash. Obviously, you can be wrong. Maybe CMC never gets injured and Kyron does, but if I'm shooting for ceiling, I want the ceiling of B-Rob. He says Franklin or Burden and a bench stash. Could drop Tez for him too. Already have Ibuka. I would probably go Franklin over Burden just because he's already involved in this offense without any injuries as is. So I think that's better than already what we're seeing with Burden. Keenan says Woody, Marcy. So Steven says Rashad White, Debo, Wandell, Dobbs, Tet, and Trey Tucker. You got to pick 3 of these in half PPR. Okay, I'm going to go with Rashad White here. I'm going to go with Debo. And I'm between Dobbs and Tet. I think I'm going to lean Dobbs here. So give me Dobbs, White, and Debo. One of my new dynasties that I'm in, kind of a unique spot. I'm 8-2, got a mad young team with multiple 27 first. Didn't expect my team to pick up. My question is, should I trade Hendo for CMC to make a push? Also, is Hendo enough in your opinion? Or just stay with the solid team for a better future? I would be patient. I would not force it. If you look like you're in a spot to be a very young team that's still competitive, it's a blessing. So I probably would be looking at just staying pat. If you're going to make any type of move to trade away Travion, I'm trying to stay young though, and I'm not going to a guy like CMC. So if you could move Travion and you're trying to up tier, get more safety, like I would be trying to go grab, move a 27 first plus Henderson to try and get into a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Bijan. Like that's what I would be trying to do, is try and stay young if you want to up tier for safety. But I don't think you have to. I think you can just stay pat. Romer Pickens rest of season. I'm going to go Rome still. I think he's still the number one in that offense, and I think it's a good offense still for fantasy production. It's been inconsistent the last couple of weeks, but I still like Rome rest of season. Tracy or Chubb? Give me Tracy. Theo is a good pickup since Slayton is out. Absolutely. I definitely am. I'm flexing Theo this week. I have both Theo and K. Dotton in my starting lineup in a tight end premium. Vidal or Charbonnet played Hendo and Diggs this week. Gave me 45. I win this week. Secure my playoff spot. Thanks for all your help this year so far. I'm going to go with Vidal over Charbonnet. But congratulations, man, on clinching that and getting ready to go, because it's about that time of the year, man. I think I'm one win away potentially from clinching in my league as well, in multiple leagues, I think, this offseason, or this upcoming week, not this offseason, and then we should be good to go. So appreciate you for watching, man. Thank you for staying tuned in. Thank you for supporting. It means a ton. And I'm always happy to hear when you guys feel like the advice is helping you win in your leagues, because it just means a lot, man. You put a lot of time into this, and you spend a lot of time talking to people and answering questions and trying to give advice and doing the research, and it means a lot when you get it paid for to you in a compliment. So thank you. Marcy says, let's go Travion. Yes, let's go. Bruce City Bob, full PPR, tight end premium, start one. Andrews, DeMercado, or Musgrave, also Ertz or BTJ. Thank you, good sir. I'm going to go with, I assume that's how you say thank you, good sir, by the way. That's just how I'm assuming it's said. I'm going to go with DeMercado over Andrews and Musgrave. And then I'm going to go with Ertz, I think, over BTJ. That feels so crazy that we're at that point, but we are. Oh, man, I hate it. Jarello says, got a dynasty offer, Judkins plus Travion to get Bijan and Algier. Do I take it? I'm not doing that in dynasty. I don't think so. I think I'd rather have the 2 running backs of Judkins and Travion. Would you start QJ or Franklin this week? I saw QJ is questionable with a shin injury. Right now, I have QJ as my wide receiver 29. And I got Troy Franklin as my wide receiver 33. I like the matchup better for QJ. I'm probably just playing QJ still. If I was looking to trade two of these players, QJ, Franklin, Loveland, which wide receiver would you target? I think it's going to be league dependent. I always tell people it's league dependent when you ask me, like, who should I target? It's easier for me to tell you if you have trades on the table. But if I'm trying to package two of those guys together, the problem is I don't feel like a lot of them have a lot of name appeal. And that's part of the deal most of the time in fantasy leagues is you got to have some name appeal. If I can move QJ and Franklin together, because I just don't imagine many people are super excited to trade for Loveland. If I can move those two together and get into like a Jawan Jennings, that feels like it would be decent. A Romeo Dobbs would be decent. A Jordan Addison would be decent. Can you maybe get into a Wandell? That's probably where I'm at, but it feels like the upgrade isn't that massive considering the lack of name appeal for most of those guys. Can I drop DK? He's just at the end of the bench staff. Yeah, I think you can drop him if you don't need him. To be honest, I don't think there's a single Tennessee Titan that's a must roster. If you want to drop any Titan at this point, I'm okay with it. Trap says, I'm in first place. Team Patty Gibbs, Jacob, CD, Jettas, Rice, Ladd, Kittle. Should I upgrade Kittle or stay as is? If you can upgrade Kittle, fine, but I think you should be fine as is. I like Kittle the rest of the way, and I think as Purdy gets back into the lineup, it's going to be better days ahead. So I think you can stay put. Got a good kicker and 3 defenses. There you go. With good matchups rest of the season. There you go. I appreciate that. And I say appreciate that because I read Marcy's as I was responding to yours. Thanks for your help, Andrew. Sorry to leave early, but it's duck time. Have a great night. Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that to you. I appreciate you too, Trap, but I just was ahead. I can see all the comments on the side of the screen before I pull them on. AMJ says, Wednesday night, I turned down a huge overpay in my Dynasty League. Henderson for 2 mid to late 2026 firsts and 2 to 26 thirds. Is this Henderson's true potential, or should I have sold high? I don't think that's I'll be honest, I don't think it's a huge overpay at all, by any means. 2 mid to late 26 firsts? I'm good. It's an overpay, maybe a little bit as of today's market, but maybe not even. I still prefer Henderson, if we're just being honest. So I'd rather stick with what we have, especially in Dynasty. Would have sold Henderson for that, to be honest. We'll lose touches when Ramondre's back. See, you're going to have a mixed bag, man. Some people are going to tell you, the touches are going to be gone. Some people are going to tell you that, the points are going to be gone. I think there's truth in all of it. I do think it's going to be a mixed committee, but Vrabel, it maybe shouldn't surprise me if you do go back to your old ways, but I'll tell you what, if you've seen what Travion Henderson has done over the last couple of weeks, and then you look at it and say, yeah, let's not give that guy the ball anymore, you're a fucking idiot. Let's just be honest. So I think it's probably a mix of both, but I still expect Henderson to be productive down the stretch. Would you trade Bijan and Harvey away for Saquon and Chase Brown? No, I would rather have Bijan and Harvey. Would you look to change anything with the squad? Dak, Kyron, Javonte, JSN, Lamb, QJ Jacobs, Bowers, Texans D, Dicker, Loveland, Franklin, Corum, Emmanuel Wilson, and Fairbairn. I would probably, looking at this team, I like what you have at QB. I think it's fine. Dak's not sexy, but he's going to get the job done. Kyron, Javonte, that's fine. JSN, Lamb, QJ Jacobs, Bowers. Jacobs is sitting in there too. I think Jacobs might be your second best running back or your best running back down the stretch. Bowers, it's a solid team. I think you might lack a little bit of depth, but right now I don't care about depth for the most part. I want you to have these studs in your lineup, and I think you got a few of them. So solid team. Just don't lose energy on the waiver wire in the back half of the year. Make sure you're still churning through some of these guys, and go grab a couple of handcuffs. Maybe even if they're not your handcuffs, go grab some other handcuffs and try and get some upside there in the running back room, because those running backs, if they get a starting job down the stretch, they're league winners. It just is kind of how it is. And no problem, man. I appreciate you guys being in here asking questions. What do we got? 2 flex, QJ, Woody, Aaron Jones, and Dobbs. Well, I got Dobbs over QJ in my rankings this week, so I'm gonna go Dobbs as one of them. Would I have Dobbs over Woody and Aaron? I think I'm gonna go Dobbs and Aaron. I think I'm gonna go those two. What's up, Dustin? Is Keenan playable at this point? Would you go Schultz or Tez over him for a flex? I'll tell you what, I have Keenan right now kind of outside of my... Where is he? He's kind of outside my... Did I lose him? I got him just outside of my top 36. So he is right there with Tez. He is right there with Schultz. If you want to play Tez over Keenan, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. They're right there back to back for me. I think we're looking at all of these guys as like wide receiver 3 flex plays. Bucky or Caleb for Lamb in Dynasty Superflex. I want to contend and need a wide receiver. Guy at 9-1 has said he's going to quit after winning, and I want to beat him. Damn, why are we quitting after winning? Bucky and Caleb for Lamb in Dynasty. In a Superflex league, I'm just taking Caleb and Bucky. I feel like there's more value there. And I also feel like Lamb is a player that over the next 12 to 24 months is more likely to lose value than he is to gain value. So I'm probably going to go with the Caleb and Bucky side still. PPR, start Judkins or Marks. Is this bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm playing Judkins over Marks, though. I have them separated in my rankings by quite a bit. Right now, I got Marks as my running back 22, and I got Judkins at 17. So it's about 5 spots difference. It's not a bad question, though. Hendo to the moon. What do you think about Pearsall? Goodbye? Absolutely goodbye. I like the rest of the season schedule for the 49ers. It's about staying healthy. Obviously, they are getting healthy now with Purdy in the lineup and Pearsall in the lineup. May not be immediately that he's a producer, but like I said, the rest of the season schedule for the Niners is very solid. So should be an opportunity to buy Pearsall pretty low right now if people aren't going to charge you a price now that he's healthy and they had to hold through the injury. So better buy last weekend. Which defense would you rather have the rest of the season, the Eagles or the Bucks? I'm looking at my defensive rankings right now, and I currently have, where are we? I would probably have the Bucks higher. Right now, you get Philly for the next couple of weeks. They get Detroit, who's been bad against opposing defenses because they score a lot of points. That's maybe not the great way to say it. Good offense. Detroit, good offense. Dallas has been a good offense against them. Then you get Chicago and the Chargers, which are not bad teams, but they're not as good as the others. Then you have Tampa, who gets the Bills and the Rams, 2 tough matchups as well. But then they get the Arizona Cardinals, then they get the New Orleans Saints, and the matchups get a little bit nicer after that as we get into the fantasy football playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there. But both teams, the Eagles and the Bucks, have 2 tough weeks in a row this week and next week. Got handcuffs for Kyron and Jacobs. Might look to pick up Bijan's backup. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really good. Insidious says, do you sports bet at all? Here and there. Not a degenerate gambler by any means, but definitely dabble every once in a while. I would be... I'll just tell you guys, I bet a little bit of my own money. Obviously, it's all my own money, but I bet a little bit of money on J.J. McCarthy. What was it? Comeback Player of the Year? It was Comeback Player of the Year or something like that this year. I don't know if we're going to get that. But hey, it is what it is. I do homer bets for the most part. I like betting in the preseason on like projected win totals, and I like betting on my Vikings to have extra stuff to root for, to break my heart. That's just kind of how I do it. Is this the Wandell 200-yard game? Making me Jameis at quarterback and literally 0 other skill positions. It could be, like I said, I got Wan'Dale fairly high in my rankings this week for PPR leagues. I got him as my wide receiver 17, and that puts Wan'Dale Robinson in the conversation with like Devontae, Nico, Ladd, Zay Flowers. Like, I'm expecting some decent things from him this week. I think Michael Wilson is a fine play right now. Definitely a player that I think is a wide receiver 3 flex play this week. Gonna probably need to get in the end zone to play off big for anybody, but right now, you know, for 1 to 2 weeks while Marvin's still recovering, I think it'll be fine for him. What's up, Tingley? Appreciate you. Happy Friday to you too. Aiden says, as a reload/rebuild, how would you go about buying Mac Jones in Dynasty? Well, I think you probably just wait until Purdy plays a couple of games, and then you go buy Mac Jones then. The thing about buying Mac Jones is that he is signed to a 2-year deal, so he is going to go back next year for the 49ers as the backup quarterback unless somebody trades for him in the offseason. But he's not going to be a free agent, so he's not going to just go get to test the open market and maybe find a bridge role. So if you are trading for him, keep that in mind. He's going to be the backup for the Niners next year and for Purdy. So if you want him, wait until Purdy plays a couple games, and then everybody's like, yeah, Mac Jones is just the backup, and then you could probably, you know, go get him at an affordable price there. Should I trade Rico for James Cook? I want that extra week from Cook. What do you think? I'm all good with that. I think that's fine. I actually prefer James Cook rest of season to Rico Dowdle. So if you can make it move, then I would be going to get Cook for Rico. IP says, yo, pick one for flex. Full PPR, Rashad White, Zay Flowers, or Khalil Shakir. I'm going to go Zay there. Zay right now, I have him as my wide receiver 18 in my fantasy rankings right now. 18, 19, I have him at 19 in my fantasy rankings right now. So I definitely would be playing him. I think Rashad White, you know, we've seen a little bit more Sean Tucker than I'd like to see. Khalil Shakir is a little bit banged up, not as high in the rankings as Zay. So give me Zay there. Never Miss says full PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. Who should I start? So we're looking at Caleb versus Purdy. I'm going to go Caleb over Purdy. Then we got Javonte, Bijan, Harvey, Aaron Jones for the running backs. I'm going to go with Javonte and Bijan. For the 2 wide receivers with JSN and AJ Brown, we only have 2 wide receivers, and Nico. I'm going to go with JSN and Nico. For the tight end, I'm going Ferguson. And I guess that leaves me with 1 flex. It's going to be between Aaron Jones and I think AJ Brown. I'm going to go reluctantly. I'm going AJ Brown. So give me Caleb, Javonte, Bijan, JSN, AJ Brown, Nico, Ferguson. AMJ says 91 in my league, so I figured I'd switch it up. What's the best game you've ever seen live? TV counts. You can't say, God damn it, AMJ. I was going to say the Minneapolis Miracle is the best game that I have ever watched live. It was I remember running around my dorm room in college, screaming at the top of my lungs, jumping up and down, punching my bed, just going crazy like in my dorm room because of how fun that was to watch. So that would probably be it. But I'll tell you what, another game that I think is one of the best that I've ever watched live is, well, if we're sticking with football only, then there was a Rams, what was it? Rams? Chiefs? When Jared Goff was the quarterback, maybe it was the Chiefs. There was like 100 billion fucking points scored in that game. I can't remember who it was. That was a really fun one to watch. Obviously, any game where Mahomes and Allen are going back to back, especially the one where it was back and forth, nobody could stop it, and then in overtime the Chiefs won. That one was a good one. But I was gonna say, does it have to be football? Because if it's not just football, Kobe Bryant's last game as a Laker, retirement game, scoring 60 motherfucking points on the Utah Jazz was so fun to watch as a Kobe guy, man. I loved that game. What do you think about trading away Hampton and Wan'Dale for Warren and Pearsall? I think I'd rather have Hampton and Wandell. I think I'd rather have them. He says that's dynasty. I think I still rather have Hampton and Wandell. LV should trade for Jones at quarterback. That would be nice for them. I think so. It's going to be interesting, too, with this 2026 quarterback class. There's a lot of QBs, but nobody really solidified right now. I think the leader of the doghouse is probably Fernando Mendoza at the moment. Michael Wilson or Kenneth Walker III in a PPR league. I'm going to probably still stick with K9. Do you like Schultz with Mills playing again over Michael Wilson? I think I would rather go with Schultz over Michael Wilson. Charbonnet, Rashad White, or Chuba Hubbard. Give me Rashad White. Insidious says, yeah, Rams Chiefs ended like 51-54. That's definitely the game. You're right. Yeah, it was. That was a really fun game. That was a really fun game to watch as well. Otten or Goddard? I'm probably gonna go with. Where do I have Otten in my rankings this week? Goddard is my tight end 6. Otten is my tight end 10. So I'm gonna go with Goddard there, and then have him be the guy that I would be playing. Full PPR, AJ Brown, Parker Washington, Tez, Franklin, you get to pick 2. Also, Cleveland, Chicago, or Dallas as the defense. With the defenses here, I'm going with Chicago this week. I'm going to have Chicago be the defense. And then for the receivers, I'm going AJ Brown. It's between Parker and Tez. I think I'm going to lean Parker there. Yeah, give me Parker and give me AJ. Jordan says Juwan Jennings, Pearsall, or Worthy in the flex in a full PPR league. I got Worthy as my wide receiver 35. I got Juwan Jennings, I think the highest of all of them, as my wide receiver 22. Where I don't think I've moved Pearsall up my rankings yet with the official news that he's going to be playing. So I do think I'm still going to go with Juwan Jennings there. I wouldn't move Pearsall over Jennings his first week back. I got another one. Start one. Jacoby Myers, Sterling Shepard, or Yoshavash. I'm going Jacoby. Pick 2 to start. Rico, Judkins, Genty, or Tracy. Well, it's not Tracy. I'm going to eliminate him right away. It's between Rico, Judkins, and Genty. I have Rico and Genty as the 2 highest, so I guess I'm sitting Judkins, but that feels crazy to do, but I'm sitting Judkins in that scenario. AMJ says any sport counts. Yeah, so I guess Kobe's 60-point game. I was at my mom's house at the time watching it with her, and I was in her bedroom. I was jumping up and down and going crazy for that one too, because it was just like every time he scored, it was like, now let's go for 50. Now let's go for 55. Let's go for 60. Like, it was just fun to see that keep climbing as the game went on, and Kobe just did what Kobe always does, and it's just, as the game got longer and longer, he just kept ticking it up another notch and going into the next level. So it was just fun to watch that one. What do we got here? Eric says, pick one, Otten, Sutton, Debo, or Jordan Addison in my flex and a half PPR. Probably going to go with Debo there. He is the highest in my rankings of all of those guys, so I'm going to go with Debo Samuel. Tez Johnson or Michael Wilson. I'm going to lean Michael Wilson there. I think he has the safer floor. He is higher in the rankings. Let's see. Sutton, Debo, Addison. I think we just answered that one. Yeah, we did answer that one. Appreciate Michael for the super chat. Michael says, should I trade CMC and Zay Flowers for Puka and Henderson? Standard league, I have Dowdle, Warren as my backs, and Jefferson, Odunze, and McConkey at wide receiver. A standard league is crazy for all of these players, because I think all of these players have that pass catching upside that you don't get any points for in a standard league. So it's interesting to think about it. I guess really, if I'm looking at this, then I'm looking at who of these guys is best for yardage and touchdowns, and that's probably CMC and Puka. and then probably Henderson. I'm going to go the Puka and Henderson side here. I think CMC is the best player, but I think the better package deal is Puka and Henderson. That's a tough one because of the standard scoring. MK says, what up? Happy Friday. Purdy versus Arizona or Flacco versus Pittsburgh. I currently have Flacco higher than Purdy. So I'm gonna go with Flacco here. How's Arc Raiders been treating you? It's been good, man. I've been grinding it a lot. Been trying to get my weapon benches all upgraded. I think all of those are level 3 now, except for like one of them. Maybe it's my explosives bench, something, whatever needs the bastion cells. Or what are they? The bombardier? I don't know. Whatever. There's some type of cell that I still need to go get. But I think I'm a level 35 right now, so I've definitely been grinding. Got like 50 hours logged on the game now. So it's been fun, man. It's been fun. Got an offer for Jetta's, Chuba, Trey Tucker for my Javonte Dobbins before the Dobbins news. Rest of the running backs, wide receivers is Achan, Warren, Marks, Nico. I mean, honestly, Dobbins, I don't expect Dobbins to play much the rest of the year. And I think if I have to pick between Javonte and Jetta's the rest of the season right now, given your wide receiver situation, I probably lean Jetta's, but that's closer than I want it to be. I think I go the Jetta side here. Only because Dobbins doesn't feel like he has any value. Feels like it doesn't help me. It's a weird trade. It's a weird trade. Chargers, defense, or the Panthers. I like the Chargers more. He says, also, I'm 7-3 if that helps. Would you flex Odunze, Pearsall, or Kyron in a PBR league? I would rather play Kyron Williams. Herbert, Burrow, CMC, JT, QJ, Woody, Hendo, Monty, B-Rob, Puka, Tet, Sutton, Higgins, Bowers, Tyler Warren, 10-team, 2-2-2 flex, wide receiver, running back, tight end. Main 2. In first, is there anyone I should target or sit tight? I mean, the QBs seem fine. The running backs seem good, obviously, with CMC and JT. And I think you have some other guys there that are pretty good as well. You got your guys handcuffed, too. I'm confused where QJ is as a running back. Who's QJ? Quinshon Judkins. Yeah, oh, yeah. Then you guys are really good at the running back. Puka Tet. I think you can afford to move a running back for another wide receiver. That would be the only other move that I'd be looking at making. Maybe you can move Tyler Warren or Bowers away. But if you're playing 2 tight ends, maybe you're not playing 2 tight ends, then I think you're good to do that. But yeah, maybe Warren or Bowers move and maybe a running back moved for an extra wide receiver. Bench 1, JCM, Pearsall, Parker Washington. You bench Jacory. Bill Krosky Merritt, bum Krosky Merritt. That's probably what he is right now. I have a wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex spot open. Can you rate these options? Michael Wilson, Christian Watson, or Colson Loveland, or Kareem Hunt versus the Broncos? Much appreciated. 8-2 with the help from you. Appreciate you. I think if I had to rank these guys right now, it's going to be Michael Wilson 1, Kareem Hunt 2, Christian Watson 3, Colson Loveland 4. I'm debating moving Hunt over Wilson, but I think the matchup makes me want to go Wilson first. So Wilson, Hunt, Watson, Loveland. Do you like JCM over Chris Rodriguez? I don't know right now. Last week, they made Chris Rodriguez the captain. They said there was going to be more touches for other people in the backfield. And then Chris Rodriguez got banged up. So I think that's probably still the plan this week. If I'm just being honest, I don't trust JCM at all at this point in time. So he's not somebody that I really have trust in moving forward. Is Ark like a multiplayer game, or could I have fun playing it myself? You can absolutely have fun playing it by yourself. It's a extraction shooter, so it's kind of like this open world, open map. You load in, you have a loadout, or you go in without a loadout, a free loadout, and you kind of start looting for stuff, find guns, find materials. You go back, you have to extract it out. You can interact with players in the world. If you're playing solo, it's proximity chat, so if you run into somebody, you can have a conversation with them. Maybe you don't want to have a conversation, you just want to get to shooting. That's what you can do. But you can definitely have fun playing it by yourself. It is open world multiplayer type of vibe though, so you'll run into other people, but you definitely can play it by yourself. I've played plenty of those hours by myself, but I've also played a lot with my brother and my wife, and it's just as fun with others. I'll say it is a lot more peaceful playing solo. If you're playing in duos or trios, it gets hectic real quick. Frank says, I got an offer of a 3-man trade. Redraft, I'd give up Igbuka and Gibbs. That's a lot. And I would receive Bowers and Genty. One player gets Gibbs, Igbuka, Kittle, and the other gets Barkley and Laporta. 12-team, half PPR, and half-point tight end premium. Accept or no? I would not. I think Gibbs and Igbuka is probably the best. I think the person who's getting Gibbs, Igbuka, and Kittle is by far getting the best side of the deal. I think you have to. I don't like this trade. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun, and I wish it was one of those free games, but hey, we've had a lot of free games lately, but you have to pay for it. It's $40, but it's brand new. It's only been out for like 2 weeks, and the developers have already done like multiple updates. It seems like it's ran by a pretty good company, so we'll see what happens over the course of time, but it's been really fun for me. Like I said, I don't sit there and play a ton of video games very often, but this one has got me hooked where, like I said, in 2 weeks, I've got like 50 hours on it. It's borderline like, what the hell are you doing with all your time type shit. So it's consumed me a little bit, man. Appreciate your time, brother. Thoughts on Brees the rest of the season? I wanted to start DeMercado over Brees this week, but everyone thought I was mad, and so now I feel like I made the wrong move. Niners D. Bang. He says, trust your gut. I do think always trust your gut. If you feel one way or the other, at the end of the day, people can say, start this and start that, myself included. If I ever tell you to start somebody and your gut's saying, hey, I'd rather do this, listen to yourself. It's not my team, it's your team. I'm going to give you the most informed decision that I can possibly make, but at the end of the day, it's your team, so you have to live with the decision regardless. If you have a gut feeling, trust it. That said, I do like Brees the rest of the season. I think he's a player that's definitely still going to get volume. The problem with Brees is not actually a Brees issue. It's a offense issue. He would be better if Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback, and I think Justin Fields needs to be benched. I said this the other day in my group chat with some of my boys back home, but it's like the Justin Fields NFL experience is over, man. Like, to me, I've seen everything that I need to see. You failed in Chicago. You didn't look that great in Pittsburgh. You've looked very bad in New York. I know who you are as an NFL quarterback, and you ain't the savior of the franchise. So that shit needs to be done, over with, move on to somebody else, and they may just roll with Fields the rest of the way. But I think the best thing for this team would be to just go to Tyrod Taylor and see what they can squeeze out of the rest of the season. Frank says, agree. That's why I told him I'm good. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I'm still old school with playing GTA 5, mostly invite only. I respect it. I respect it, man. I'm not usually like a shooter game type of person. I don't play the Call of Duties. I know the new Call of Duty came out today or something. Like, I don't really play the Call of Duties. I don't play the Battlefields. I'm a social gamer. So if I'm gaming with family or friends, and it's a way for me to hang out and talk to you and catch up on life with you and have fun. I'm not really, gaming for anything other side of that. So like I said, it's more of a social gamer for me. Linton says, playing in a full PPR league, I have McBride as my tight end and JSN and Rice as my wide receivers. That's pretty damn good now. Says flex Gadsden or Flowers. I'm going to go with Flowers there. Flowers right now, like I said, is my wide receiver 19 on the week. Going into a matchup versus Cleveland, I think he's the player that I would be plugging in as the flex. And all right, folks, we are all the way caught up. Right now, we got about 9 more minutes left in the stream, so I'm just going to call it last call right now, folks. So if you have any final questions for me, fantasy related, dynasty related, redraft, or just you want to keep talking about video games or whatever else in life, you have other questions you've been burning to ask me, but you've never had the chance to do so, I'm giving you about 5 to 10 minutes right now where you can ask me whatever you want. So I'm taking the reins off of it, man. Ask me whatever you want before we get on out of here, if you want to. If not, we'll wrap this thing up here in about 9 minutes. But see, we got a couple more in here. David says, my gut is telling me Luther over Tet this week. Thoughts on timing the market with this one? We still flexing Gadsden over Worthy in full PPR. I think I would still flex Gadsden over Worthy. As far as Luther over Tet, I don't have it there in my rankings. It's not a great matchup for Tet. You know, playing against Atlanta, I have him as my wide receiver 28. I don't think I'm there with Luther yet, though. Still think Zacchaeus is going to be a little bit involved. So for me, I wouldn't do it. If your gut's telling you to do it, though, it is what it is. But yeah, as far as the Gadsden question goes, I'm still going Gadsden over Worthy. Pokeversity says Laporta is out. Pick one for tight end. Ertz, Schultz, or Likely. It's not likely for me. It's going to be, I want to say Ertz is the highest in the ranks. He is not. It's actually Schultz. Schultz is the highest in the ranks. I have him as my tight end 11 on the week. And I think you said somebody else here too. You said, or Fannin. I do have Fannin over Ertz, but I'm still going to go with Schultz. Give me Schultz. Appreciate you, MK. Good luck to you this week as well. You have a favorite content creator in the fantasy football field? Look, there's plenty of great ones. I'll tell you, though, there are a few people in the space that kind of were the guys that I listened to before I started making content and were, I guess, inspirational or foundational in some of my current philosophy and how I've kind of grown as a creator is just by watching them grow. Ray GQ, always one of the best in the business. Great fantasy analyst, content creator in general. Definitely knows his way around a microphone. Entertaining as all hell. So I definitely loved Ray GQ. Still love Ray GQ. He's been on the channel before. I think Andy Holloway and the Fantasy Footballers are pivotal for me as far as fantasy content consumption has went. Those guys are, quite honestly, the standard for what you would want to look for as far as fantasy football podcasting goes. Those guys are elite. Dynasty Nerds are great, and I'm not just saying that because I currently do work with them. I was a listener to them way before I ever did any work with them, so they're definitely great in the business. Nick Ercolano at BDG taught me a lot along the way. Definitely liked, the time that I spent with him. And I think Matt Harmon is one of the best in the business too when it comes to a research and theory ideology standpoint. Think he's great. There's probably plenty of others that I'm forgetting that probably need to be mentioned, but those guys in particular, those 5, I would say were my most in the rotation when I was a listener more than a creator, and those guys were all very pivotal in helping me become some of the creator that I am today, as well as many other things. So yeah, Linton says, defense question, Broncos, Vikings, Patriots, rest of season. I think for me, I'm probably going to lean it's either the Patriots or the Broncos. I think I'd rather go with the Broncos rest of season, though. Frank says, should I pick up Gainwell off the waiver wire and drop Ray Davis, Jaden Daniels, T-Law, or Jerry Jeudy? My running backs are Cook, White, and Davis. My QBs are Josh Allen, Jaden, and T-Law in a redraft. I don't think you need T-Law on the team, But should you pick up Gainwell for Ray Davis? You can. I think Gainwell's going to be more involved this week. Ray Davis is a handcuff option where, like, if something happens to Cook, then you have the guy. And because you have Cook, I don't hate the idea of having that at this point in time, handcuffing your running backs. So I don't think it's necessary. Disc says, I'm playing J.J. McCarthy over Bo Nix this weekend, stacked with Justin Jefferson. Do you think it's finally going to happen this weekend? 2 tutties from J.J. to J.J.? It could. I'll tell you right now, you know, there's been a lot of talk this week over in Vikings land about Justin Jefferson wanting to get back to year 3 Jettas, where he was hungry and he was really just in savage mode is what he called it. So we'll see what happens with that. I think it's better said than done. I guess better done than said. I don't know, whatever it is. I'd like to see him do it this week. I have him as a top 10 option. The matchup says it should be good for Justin Jefferson. It does come down to J.J. McCarthy. Does J.J. McCarthy give you some consistency at the quarterback position? In my rankings right now, I have him as a top 13 fantasy football quarterback this week. So could definitely be the week. The matchup is good. The matchup is good. Mostly says T-Law, an early 26 third and a 27 third for Stroud and Jonathan Brooks. I typed it wrong earlier. Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was. So I guess if it's 2/3 and T-Law for Stroud and Jonathan Brooks, I'm probably gonna go with Stroud and Jonathan Brooks. But honestly, like, if you could just get this to where you get to keep one of the thirds or take both of them out and you don't take on Jonathan Brooks, I don't want Jonathan Brooks. I'm just against Jonathan Brooks on my roster. So that's probably what I would be trying to do, is figure out a way to do that. Knicks or Rodgers, Purdy by chance. I have Rodgers the highest of all of these guys in my rankings this week. So he would be the play for me. Fantasy Sports Zone says, as I'm trying to get my content going, I found that I'm doing better on TikTok than YouTube, but I'm trying to grow on both. I'll tell you what, growing on YouTube is tough. It's very tough. And you have to be okay with learning to become a long-form content creator. The algorithm is most rewarding to consistency and quality on YouTube. So you got to figure out what your audience likes, dial in your niche, make sure you market to the right people, and focus on becoming the best content creator you can. Spend time learning to edit well, spend time researching, and make sure that you're well researched and well spoken. The people will follow eventually when you do it consistently enough. I'll tell you what, it took me one year to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I thought that was something that should have been easy to do. It wasn't. It took a long time, but YouTube is rewarding for those who work hard and those who spend the time to grow as a creator. So don't give up. Try and find creators that you can look up to and not steal content from, but learn from, and just keep pushing, man. Don't give up, because it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be times where you look at it and you say, hey, it feels like I'm just shooting videos out into the air and they just get lost in the abyss. It feels like that, but you do it enough, consistently enough, on a schedule well enough, and the content's quality, it will catch eventually. So just spend the time. And if you ever have any questions, man, about content creation, I have a free Discord linked in the description. You can find me on X too. My X handle's right there, at Andrew2True. Either go to the free Discord and shoot me a DM, go shoot me a DM on X, whatever it may be. I try and answer them when they come in. Sometimes it's hard to answer all of them, but I try and answer them. So if you ever have any questions, just hit me up. Linton says, I have Flacco, full PPR, drop Sammy D for Joe Burrow. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it at all. I totally missed the super chat, so I apologize if this has been sitting there. Usually the super chats skip the line, so I greatly apologize here. Shots. Super chat 499 says, Emeka or Kyron in the flex, and are we concerned about the weather for the Bills game? Right now, as I'm looking at my flex rankings, I have Emeka over Kyron Williams. So I'm going to go with Emeka Egbuka. Am I worried about the Bills game? As of right now, not too much. But I guess we'll see as we get closer to Sunday. But I think right now I'm still going with Emeka. Really torn right now for week 11 between ETN and Marks. Normally would say ETN, but Marks' matchup is too good this week. I currently have ETN as my running back. Where is he? Running back 13 on the week. And I got Woody Marks as my running back 22. So I would go with ETN personally. Insidious, appreciate you, man. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one, man. Mostly says, is it still Stroud on a contender? I mean, I don't think T-Law or Stroud are either super great for contenders. I think I have more faith in Stroud long term. That's kind of the way I would go. If you think T-Law helps you more as a contender, then I have no issues with you leaning that way. The trade is fair. I'm almost viewing it straight up like T-Law and Stroud are similar assets, and then you just move the other pieces for whatever you need. So I don't view them that far off. LeBron scored 51 in the finals. Kobe never did that. Yeah, but Kobe also went back-to-back and went 3 years in a row and 3 years in a row. And Kobe's also the motherfucking GOAT, Frank. So it is what it is. Appreciate you, Fantasy. Todd, you said flex Marks, Harvey, Aaron Jones, or Tet. I'm going with Aaron Jones here. And then that's it. That's everything we got. I got Linton's is the last one. Frank says, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you, Frank. And then Linton says, also heard that Cleveland is a bad weather game, but I haven't seen anything. You hear the same or no? I hear rumblings. I'll be honest, as we hear about the weather stuff, I usually don't dive into weather too heavily until Saturday, Sunday. Because when people are talking about weather this, weather that on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, it's like, bro, a lot can happen between now and then. The wind shifts, a little bit, and then the weather's a different city over next time by the time Sunday comes around. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard a little bit. This is the time of the year in general. We're just going to get some weather stuff for most weekends. It's just a matter of how important it's going to be on game day. So, there you go. And, John, I'll let you be the last one, man. What's going on, bro? Hope all is well. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Burden, DK, or Jaden Higgins? I think if I have to pick one right now, it's between Burden and Jaden Higgins. I think Burden, if an injury happens, has the highest ceiling, but Jaden Higgins is the one who's going to be the most involved right now. Probably would pick Jaden Higgins if I need somebody to plug into my lineup right now at the moment. So there you have it, folks. That is all we got for you tonight. We went for about an hour. As always, doing these Q&As every Tuesday, every Friday night. Hopefully answering as many of your guys' questions as we can. I think we got all the way through it for the most part. Appreciate everybody who super chatted. Appreciate everybody who hit the like button. Those do truly support the channel and help support this show. As always, if you do want to support us above and beyond, you want to go an extra measure, go over there to Underdog. If you've never played, new customers who sign up using promo code LeagueFFB and play with $5, they get $100 in bonus funds. So definitely would appreciate it if you've never done it to go over and do that for us. But other than that, nothing else for you guys today. I will see you on Sunday morning before the games for more start sits. If you have other start sits in the meantime, hit me in the comment section of the videos as you're tapping in. Hit me in the Discord, but we'll see you on the next one. Till then, peace out.